Hi there, folks. Papa Smith here. The garden update. It's been a long time since I've done one of these, and so won't waste any time. We'll get right into it. Starting in the southmost bed, and in the south end of the garden, I pretty much have a whole bed of carrots. You'll have to forgive the weeds. There are quite a few weeds throughout the garden. Uh, didn't really get a lot of time this weekend to get things weeded out, but you can tell that the carrot tops at least are nice and happy. I haven't dug into the ground yet to see what the roots look like, but that's what's going on in that bed. The very next bed, I've got a bunch of kale. It's supposed to be the what a lot of people around here call the dinosaur kale, the really curly kind. It's kind of rough looking, really long. And down at the far end, you'll see that kale, that was some of the kale that came up very early in the season, kind of volunteered up in the garden. And it's already going to bolt, it's already seeding. And I'm just going to let it happen because I don't mind if it self sows. This bed is going to be dedicated for just kale, anyways, so that works out. The very next bed has not been planted yet, but is getting close to season to start squashes, and that's what this bed will be. And so that's why it's just stayed covered up until it is time for us to plant out some squashes. So stay tuned for that. And the bed next to it, kind of in the middle of the garden, we have got a bunch of leafy greens. They are indeed ready to be cut. So again, one of these days when I'm able to get out here and do some yard work, I can pull some weeds and cut some greens. That'd be good. In the very next bed, I did have some time earlier this week to cut down some of the chives. So you'll see the chives kind of look a little haggard there. I did leave a lot of the flowers on because I do want it to also self sow. It's my goal to always try and fill this bed in with as many chives as possible. One of the things that slows me down is that the seedlings often get kind of tangled up in the weeds, and so as I'm weeding, I actually ended up pulling up the chives seedlings by accident. It's just kind of one of those things that happens. But anyways, that's why I'm letting so many of those go to seed there. At the far end, I probably have to walk down to this one so you guys can see this. Do got another oregano. These two oregano bushes I'm going to eventually add to the very next bed. We'll talk about that bed here in a minute. That's actually the oregano bed, so these two will need to get moved. But a little bit further down there we've got broccoli that is starting to go to bolt there, which is I think good. Not really growing broccoli to be honest with you, so I think this is good. And then growing up these trellises, I've got a bunch of peas. They're all over the place. Just gonna zoom in on the one there, but they're just trust me, they're kind of all over on both sides of the trellis, which is pretty cool. Walking back down. And we're gonna keep moving north here. Now we're at the actual oregano bed. I've already actually taken a cut out of this. Also, it's kind of the same day that I was able to take a cut off of the chives. And the big round things here, there's one there, one there. You'll see one way right there, right. Those are tomato towers. Kind of a controversy whether they work or not, but I figure I'll give it a try. I don't have a whole lot of space to hill up a bunch of potatoes in like one bed, and so this seemed like an attractive idea. So we'll try it out and see what happens. I'll let you know if it's worth it or not. There's another oregano bush, and I think what I'm going to do is actually plant those two bushes in this space right here where this potato is. We'll have to do that later in the fall probably. All right, so that's it for that bed. And this bed, this is probably one of the worst ones in terms of the weeds. This one's pretty awful. But hopefully you can see the onion sprouts all the way throughout. That's what I'm trying to grow in this bed. And they're doing okay. I don't know if I'm going to have a long enough of a season to actually get onions. I've always kind of struggled with that. That being said, this is, I think, the best start I've had on this. So, a little bit hopeful, but not terribly optimistic. It seems like I never just have enough time. Can't quite figure it out, what I need to do there. So, anyways, there's that. And then a little bit further down, there's really not a whole lot going on underneath the greenhouse area. I'm kind of waiting until I get my plastic up. As you can see, the old plastic is not up there anymore. It actually got damaged quite a bit, and so I gotta put more plastic on top. So when I get that done, I'll put some hot weather plants in there. But in the meantime, it's just kind of weedy. There's some garlic in there, and I think there's peas on that side. So I need to throw a trellis down there for them to grab onto. But that's not a whole lot going on in that bed. And then over here, I had made an attempt to grow beans. Something plucked the heads off of quite a few of them, and the others didn't germinate. So I'm going to try replanting the beans one more time and seeing if they will go in this bed. As you can see, I've got it mostly covered up with some holes plugged in. You can see where the weeds are poking out of the holes. You know, it's like anywhere they can find a way, they'll try and grow. So I'll reweed that bed out and plant some beans and see what happens. That is pretty much the garden update. Some ups, some downs. It's kind of like life, right? Anyways, y'all have a good one.